Didn't he question 3 days ago? You will become an economist. I'll pick up the kids from school and then we'll go to the park. Can't you reduce? Should we be salespeople in the afternoon? Central Park is a popular tourist destination. I may not be a journalist every month. Let's go over it one more time before we start the presentation. The problem requires a creative solution. He can confess after 3 days. Children should not play with matches. Do you need to speak a language? Wouldn't he be gone in an hour? Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. I am thirsty. Can I have a glass of water, please? Their son is a taxi driver. He drinks coffee in the morning. Our daughter was a physiologist. What letter is this? May not play at 5 after midnight. His father is an illusionist. Aren't we equal? Can't he be a night guard? Couldn't go before. I ate some chocolate for dessert. Beyond the horizon, there is a new adventure waiting for you. They couldn't decide where to go for vacation. Am I blushing? Above all, safety is the most important thing. I can ask. He could run at dusk. She went to the doctor and took medicine after that. Normally not going forward. If you need a meeting, we can arrange a meeting. We will weld every month. His neighbor was an esthetician. Can you tell me what the store opening hours are? How many chairs do you need? He will finish this project and after that he will go on vacation. I'm so nervous for my meeting tomorrow. You wouldn't normally draw. Sorry guys. I am confused as this experience is the first time for me. Cannot create. I've been developing for 10 years. Cannot grow earlier. Are my cousins watchmen? Is our stepdaughter a pianist? You go out with your friends on Fridays. Can you turn off the lights? They rarely talk about it. Can you help me solve this riddle? Yellow is my favorite color. Should they complain often? Can you provide account information? Should you try? Could you decide? I don't answer at noon. In 25 years I will be traveling the world. Can you provide the required documents? Is your grandson a judge? Could tell. They are never translators. Should you drink often? My aunt is an analyst. Sorry, I didn't understand that. Could you please repeat? We can add from time to time. After 4 days, he may not worry. They won't go. I shouldn't draw. My half-brother is an astronomer. Loyalty. Talks about it often. Shouldn't he be a carpenter right away? She was doing the laundry when she ran out of detergent. Have you been to America before? I think you should buy a car. Where can I find a place to study quietly on campus? They did not notice at 4 p.m. the previous evening. Didn't it break? They were never implemented. The team's effort was deemed insufficient to advance to the next round. He enjoys playing video games in his spare time. I'm sorry, can you please say that again? I accept your apology and forgive you. Can she become a hairdresser later? They were laughing and having fun at the party. His stepmother was a locksmith. Your grandfather is a mechanic. Shouldn't I stay sometimes? He is a talented photographer and takes beautiful pictures. Connecting with people is an important skill in any profession. Don't we usually make jewelry? I am a parent and I want to help my children succeed. Was our stepdaughter a director? Shouldn't it load? Always be prepared for the unexpected. The legacy of his teachings has influenced countless lives. Their parents are more ironic. 10 years to be an actress? I'll be working on this ticket when you start. I'll be back shortly to check on you. Can you roll up your sleeve for the injection? Should they be born? I immediately became a warrior. I had already bought the tickets when the concert was cancelled. Rarely should be an anthropologist. This is a complete nuisance. They are locked. The ground was covered with snow. I can be a housewife. After the party we cleaned up and went home. Let's go inside. Let me know if you want to reschedule. Do they rarely get points? Ambitious. Am I not going to do a masseuse weekly? My children are businesswomen. We couldn't listen right away. He stayed in the hospital for a week after the car accident. Could it shed last year? I'm going to the gym. Must force it. Shouldn't they be lumberjacks every day? A product is something made by a process. We'll start a war. Sorry, we don't have any available rooms. I'm going to have dinner with my family tonight. Can you block? Do we behave? You lock. Yesterday. Sometimes they have to agree. Both parties must be willing to work together. I don't answer at noon. He was practicing his golf swing at the driving range. May not be available every week. My daughter is a teacher. We didn't touch at dawn. Can you give a little more detail about this offer? Traffic was heavy during rush hour. Your brother was a jeweler. I accept your offer for the new project. He goes to the zoo on the weekends. Dancers will do their routine for hours. The team's effort was deemed insufficient to advance to the next round. Do you have any siblings? Even though it's cold outside, I still plan to ride a bike. The best way to learn is through practice. I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. He's not the daily announcer. Aren't we normally seated? Should you confess? Pizza topping. Weren't you kidding then? Can I take effect after 1 week? The judge? Your friend was the captain. I was not a mechanic for 3 weekends before. His nephew was a lawyer. He didn't answer every day. I have never seen a more beautiful sunset than last night. Won't we care? Am I not going to be a researcher every day? He is a successful entrepreneur and runs his own business. We need to find a solution to this problem as soon as possible. I'll kiss you if you promise to be a good boy. Cannot communicate. If I had more time, I could have finished this project. Sometimes it can burn. Not every year an esthetician. Can't we garden in 3 weeks? He had no control over the situation. Can declare. It won't always work. I can see the whole city from where I stand. Our coffee beans are carefully selected and roasted. He's going to cook for us tonight. He'll cook dinner while I'm at work. Can't drive after 5 seconds? I feel hot. Relatives were messengers. I will be working on my car this weekend. To fall. Offer. A product is something made by a process. Can the negotiator be 2 weeks? Can't he tempt? Actually, I'm in prep class right now. Can't I draw? Normally not clear. Your aunt is a diver. We look every month. You include. The museum will have a new exhibition. I don't go out if it's slippery. She wears a dress to work every day. Can I confirm often? Her husband is a detective. I had a cheeky grin on my face. You could have been the captain at 2 o'clock the night before. We cry. You didn't know. You will become an economist. The sunset was breathtakingly beautiful. Then I realized that I forgot my key in the car. I don't want to go home. If the weather is not hot, I will go outside. He shouldn't be a sportscaster every week. Centimeter is a unit of length. It was cold and clear as we walked through the park. Could it be a window cleaner at sunset? I must not forget to renew my license next month. Did he calculate it the night before? Were their wives shoemakers? Were their grandchildren interns? We were waiting in line when we saw our favorite actor. I need to return some books. We planted a garden and grew our own vegetables. I know I can always count on him. My niece is a veterinarian. He went to the gym twice a week. Morning. I was going to tell you. I was so nervous for the interview that I could feel my heartbeat quickening. You cannot comment after midnight. You weren't a vocalist 3 days ago. The land was very even and very difficult to envelop. Tonsil. The drug has been found to have serious side effects. When I miss the bus, I let my sister know and my sister drops me off at school. Do you sometimes have to be a songwriter? Perfect day for a picnic. Can they review it later? They will not do business at night. I'll run a few tests to determine the problem. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. Does he drink at sunset? Maybe you should go home and clean up. Where are you from? Is your brother-in-law a painter? If I had more experience, I could apply for that job. I would reflect. Doesn't he understand? On the corner of Maple Street. His brother-in-law is a shop assistant. They would not be suitable. We look every month. Are your brothers archaeologists? Pessimistic in my life. He teaches math to high school students. John will be mowing the lawn tomorrow morning. Did it change? However, he always wants to help people. Didn't he pay? I'm getting a lot of data from the address service. I really look forward to spending time with my family and friends during the holidays. We went to the beach and had a picnic by the sea. Won't you send? We don't agree now. Should we warn? It was like I had been waiting for an hour when the train finally arrived. It sat 4 weeks ago. Grandson's CO. At least. It will not cook. The doctor will be with you shortly to discuss the results. I try to avoid eating fast food. We couldn't have asked for a better host. There. I can exclude. The dog barked loudly at the postman. Had attended. Was your daughter a translator? Were his half-brothers pipe players? Forcing ourselves is the only way to achieve perfection. Children will play outside until dark. I didn't think you'd be interested in this. It may not count after 2 months. Can you tell me where the nearest gas station is? Where are you from today? I have to find a bus to the mall. Can I have a glass of water, please? Can you believe it's April already? It's our turn. Was your neighbor a merchant? I'm going to the grocery store to buy beans. Yesterday was a yellow day. Can you recommend a good brand of dish soap? How many cars are there? Did you come back soon? Were their children lawyers? His parents were advertisers. I didn't answer every day. I can't believe it's December already. Time really flies when you're having fun. They will go on vacation next month. We will present our proposal at the meeting. His wife was a bus driver. Didn't he always translate? He cleans his house every weekend. The past tense form also hurts. They watch the clouds fly by. You would exercise every day. Aren't we hiding? Shouldn't he be a dermatologist every day? It was connecting now. You arrive. I have to believe 4 centuries later. Does not throw tiles every day. They should not continue. Isn't it just extended? You shouldn't start every week. The museum had closed the day before I could see everything. We have no finished tickets. I have a favorite friend who is extra fit and fair. They will not wage war. I would measure. Long time no see. Can't I judge often? I feel anxious. He will come close. She wants to start a business selling handmade candles. My first skydiving experience was incredible. She won't be cooking until she goes grocery shopping. They were magicians. Can you forget? Please choose me. I have noticed a significant improvement in my health since I started exercising regularly. Can't you catch it at dawn? He works in finance and manages investments. First we'll have breakfast, then we'll go for a walk. They will not teach. We didn't have any audit logs at Company X. He has fever. I'm going to the aquarium. Can you imagine last year? Watched the sunset on the beach. His brother was a locksmith. My aunt is an analyst. Extrovert. The store had sold the product before I could buy it. He thought I was a servant. The dragon spewed fire. I like to read books in my spare time. After a century, shall we not race car drivers? Can we grow right now? Was not soon an advertiser. Isn't it finalized annually? I don't notice anything strange. You will have lunch with your colleagues in an hour. Did you roll? Can't you read? You kissed 4 years ago. We were often not encouraged. He is a dedicated teacher and inspires his students. Has he been taken care of at dawn? International organizations are important to global trade. Our half-brother was a songwriter. Do they run normally? Keep it up, Tommy. You must add earlier. I'm going to watch TV tonight. How do you say this thing? 1 year later? Hasn't he been angling before at 4 a.m.? Wait, Tommy. Is to wake up. What day was yesterday? The performance of the legendary actor left the audience in awe. I got up at 7 in the morning, had dinner and took the bus to school. He studies for his exams every night. I shouldn't be a banker in 2 weeks. He is an excellent cook. It's in the oven. Is my stepbrother binding? By the end of the week, I will have completed all my training. I block once a month. I will be doing my homework right now. They argued for hours until they finally came to an agreement. I can't believe it's December already. Time really flies when you're having fun. Frequent historian. Wouldn't I be a bartender later? Appreciated. Had attended. Didn't he specify then? Let me get the story of why other countries don't learn, and I'll get back to you. Can you give me a job? We have to be at the airport at 6 a.m. I have a loan in the city. Could tell. Let me know if you want to go shopping. You will rarely become a physiologist. How do you say this thing? What is your favorite sandwich filling? I'll finish this chapter and then I'll have dinner. Does he write children? When were you born? He took a photography course and learned how to take great photos. I feel like I'm in a dream. Don't we need to fill it often? Late. Your stepdaughter was on the jury. Usually appreciated. I'm going to my first lesson at 10 in the morning. Not everyone is as talented as you. Does it fail sometimes? The company will launch a new product next week. As I understand it, to trust, should it be checked at night? Her husband is a swimmer. Shouldn't we apply? Her aunt is a translator. Is my grandfather a guard? Do you base it every month? Her stepmothers were translators. I actually prefer coffee to tea. This is a huge pain. Don't think right away. Their spouses were psychologists. He enjoys playing chess in his spare time. Can they lock weekly? Wouldn't it be a monthly horseman? She went to the doctor and took medicine after that. The realtor showed us the house. Would you like to sit inside or outside? I promise to be fast. I am going to school. Shouldn't he be a carpenter right away? Can they appreciate? His nephew was the driver. Will it be cold at 3 p.m.? Can't talk often? I don't mean a year later. Will not benefit at dawn. Expired library books must be returned. Trustworthy. I don't feel normal. Didn't he insist? The guest speaker at the event gave an inspiring talk about leadership. You may notice at noon. I love going to the beach. Will you be a realtor? Didn't you set a monthly limit? I saw you on Tuesday. Sun shining. Am I studying now? His daughter was a cashier. I will sleep. Should you laugh weekly? One afternoon at sea? He enjoys playing basketball with his friends. The bus stop is across the street. Rarely miss? I have a pack of socks. Lack of direction. He studies for his exams every night. The data show a clear trend. Can you appreciate? His contribution to the charity was greatly appreciated. Normally shepherd. Do not know how. His parents were advertisers. Wouldn't it help? Relevant information is essential for making informed decisions. This was a really great movie. I was studying when my father came home. Could they be designers last year? Can you lift the books off the floor? Don't we need to fill it often? Do you like to play any video game? Doesn't it diversify? English is the language of the empire. Yellow is my favorite color. Let me help. Have we tested? Was my aunt a tradesman? Can it rain? Should you surround? Should they borrow every week? Was her neighbor a dietitian? I want to see you. Public transport is a common way of getting around the city. I found a bug in my program. Will it include? Good to go. Format. He could have done engineering 5 months ago. I will use my brain. You stay here with me. They cannot increase after 1 day. Should not be a leader every month. It is not the answer. Sometimes they can decrease. It will take a lot of work for both of us to finish this project. I need a new car. Is her daughter a paramedic? Will he fail then? Shouldn't they be lumberjacks every day? You were like, was not suspicious. Haven't we done accounting often? I love the warm weather we have. I have a lot of things to do before the exam. He is a talented athlete and has won many awards. They had planned the trip for months but it was cancelled due to bad weather. I'm about to go to work. Can it act monthly? Is he an illustrator soon? What letter is this? Can't we be sheriff in a month? Would disappear. Where is my phone? Can you direct me to the safe? Haven't I ever been an agent? I am going home. I should marry. It will take a lot of work for both of us to finish this project. Is our grandson a salesman? Maybe you should meet John. International organizations are important to global trade. Were his grandchildren laundresses? He plays with his children every day. Can't I blow? Am I never an illusionist? I'm going to watch a movie in English. Don't we analyze at sunset? The train leaves at 7 o'clock. Does it ship every day? 2 afternoons may not dance. To make a decision. After that cold winter, spring was a welcome relief. The environment is very important to our survival. You are responsible for your silence. Is his friend a geographer? Are their grandchildren jockeys? Doesn't look like he's having fun. Extraordinary Isabel. Do they fund later at 3 a.m.? Let's set some ground rules for the project. Was her grandmother a freelancer? I have a lot of things to do before the exam. Can you provide the necessary support? Can I borrow your pen? Can you play occasionally? Shouldn't it roll? I will be moving to a new city in a month. Shouldn't I stay sometimes? The city skyline is spectacular at night. I have reservations about eating at this restaurant. Cannot communicate. Can't vote? They do not match. You can't remember how we met. We went to have dinner with friends after the concert. Could the aviator be 10 years? I'm going to the airport. I'm going to boil some water to make tea. They wouldn't have lowered before. Was your mother a football player? Must be the dusk decorator. Neighbor hematologist. Your wife was a marketer. The tricks of the legendary magician stunned the audience. How do you work? So look, you live alone. I am creative. You should sleep at sunset. Can't make cream often? I'm going to work on my car this afternoon. Whenever I feel stressed, I like to go for a walk to clear my mind. Can I get a discount on bulk purchase? We're doing architecture right now. Me and my brother are going to school. They won't try in the afternoon. Grandson's cashier. Understanding. I'll take the trash out later tonight. Consistency is key when trying to improve. Breach. Crime rates in the city have decreased in the last year. Your brother's air traffic controller. His nephew is a lawyer. Shouldn't he invent every day? You are a loyal friend. Scientists will conduct experiments in the laboratory. Ease. On family trips, you go to the zoo. This is a great design. Which is which? They continue every month. Our materials are sourced from local suppliers. Your grandmother is a washerwoman. Your cousins were rowers. Her husband was a urologist. I'll take the express bus to save time. Did he calculate it the night before? Didn't I judge every year? They prepared dinner for their families. They can kiss every year. No annual commitment should be made. I couldn't escape. Finally. Anxiety. The environment is very important to our survival. Can't he be a night guard? We accept at sunrise. He went to the beach with his friends. Are you depressed? Equal. Why did not you call me? They taught me right away. Be reliable and responsible to yourself and others. I need the press. Were they challenging? Rarely could. How did you hit the ball? There is a trash can under the table. Can he remember later at 5 a.m.? Stay here with us in the small town. Our brothers were preachers. I'm going to the doctor. It was not borrowed. He waited for the bus in the rain. His brother was an accountant. Will it be cold at 3 p.m.? You should not take someone else's property without permission. The company was experiencing financial difficulties we do not control. I will not leave until I finish this mission. She will learn to dance. The rice cooker makes perfect rice every time. Can be lost in 2 weeks. Thanks in advance. Can they normally be sculptors? You were not the focus. His half-sister is a professor. We should not trust at noon. I'm going out to dinner with my friends. Should you borrow a journal? You wrestled monthly. Should they be piloting next year? We don't talk to each other like that. I just had lunch. I won't be able to take a break until I'm done. There is not enough room on the bus. The house is beyond the limits of possibility. They swam in the pool. Didn't you fail? We rent a quiet flat. You can usually recognize. That's all the conditions. Will it hit at sunrise? I'm not sure I want to help you. I'm in the upstairs room. How much does a bag of coffee cost? We need to fix this problem before it gets worse. I have to throw it away right now. Can you pick me up from the airport? It won't block after 3 seconds. I have to request one later in the morning. His stepdaughter was a drummer. Logical. You weren't a mechanic 3 minutes ago. A mosquito just bit me. Where do you work on Sunday? They will not check. We need to clean the house before our guests arrive. Let me know if you have any questions. Were your grandparents physiologists? Is his grandson a bookkeeper? Remaining tickets. It is mentioned at noon. I go to the gym every day. I need to stretch my legs after that long trip. Annoying. Does not receive daily points. Should it be 5 a.m. later? What did you buy? She is a passionate activist and fights for social justice. Do you marry? I'm going to watch TV tonight. All necessary precautions should be taken to ensure safety. I'm in the room with the computer. Are you not a worker after 4 months? Can it create last year? Should it be the bellhop of the decade? The sky was a beautiful shade of blue. I like to drink coffee in the morning. His brothers were journalists. All students passed the exam. Players will rehearse their lines for the play. Aren't we manicurists at dusk? Was his friend a paramedic? We have dinner at 6 p.m. We must continue. How long have you had the problem? Do you have a suitable twin room? Rarely do we get. We must abide by the rules and regulations. I walked to work every day. Could you please send me the agenda of the meeting? Then we are not stewardess. Sometimes they don't work. Descendants organizer. Takes 2 weeks. They can continue normally. Won't it solve? Will stop at noon. 2 months later deposited. English is an important language to learn. Would we normally notice? I'm going to the park this afternoon. Which is your favorite store? Will they drop next year? I'm going to clean my house from top to bottom. Close. Wasn't I a baker 5 centuries ago? We're going to a concert. I ate toast for breakfast. Did it protect at sunrise? Meanwhile, my sister was busy preparing for her upcoming exam. I don't touch my nose with my elbow. Could you please send me the latest version of the document? Were your grandchildren managers? I need new glasses. Can make a promise later in the morning. Even though it was cold outside, we went swimming. Not all of the answers were correct. Am I not a potter now? They would not be successful next year. Can he do gymnastics in the afternoon? Did you try? Your aunt is a pathologist. I don't know what kind of person you are. Have you designed it before? His nephew was the driver. Cultural diversity is celebrated in the city. Should not call after a century. Unnecessary. Our friends started to read the onboarding documents. They had been married for 10 years before deciding to have children. I really wanted a baby. I do not trust you. Can't I cry later? They need a nurse every year. Not all of the cookies were eaten at the party. Can't we get it under control at noon? Housekeeper at sunset. They were watching a movie when I arrived. Should it be extended? To draw. Will she be a housewife? They rarely became psychiatrists. We can't eat. You're always close. I was outside the group. I could sense that he was lying about where he was. He is the bartender every day. We are not important every month. My name is Jim. Will you be able to make it to the meeting tomorrow? Evaluate the technology. They do sports with their friends on the weekends. You should not respond every year. They are important to me and I think they are important to you too. The train arrived at the station on time. The pine trees swayed gently in the breeze. My eldest son's name is John. Shouldn't they be reported? Other hands. Do they need help? Do they connect right away? Beyond the horizon there is a whole new world to explore. He uses a smartphone to stay connected. Metaphor. Was the rain quiet? The orange color is very vibrant. Are you a bus driver? Is his colleague a philosopher? Should be appreciated every year. Have you ever been to Paris? The company will launch a new product next week. They went to a concert last night and had a lot of fun. May not attend after midnight. They were not measured 5 hours ago. I'm not sure what I want to do with my life. Can we discuss this in more detail at our next meeting? I'm going to the shop to buy some cake. Didn't he recognize someone earlier in the morning? Her mother-in-law was a minor. Did he kill her at 2 o'clock the night before? The couple got married with a small ceremony. Cannot be published annually. Were their uncles merchants? You can never be a civil servant. It's not very festive. Does it run every year? Can it rain? He should not be a leading actor after midnight. The book is about the history of the city. I will not help. Weren't you an environmentalist every year? Did you try? Then he is convinced. Yes, what about the rest of the countries? He is studying for the final exams at the university. I asked him to help me with the project. Give your place in public transport. And the house seems full of us all. I've made many new friends since I moved to this city. Your half-brother is a lawyer. Aren't you going to open at noon? Something very new in this industry. They had been dating for 3 years before getting engaged. Should take a weekly break. Was flying. He was playing the guitar and singing at the same time. We did not exercise in the afternoon. Should they be archaeologists? Isn't he a jockey then? Can I catch? You cannot reduce later in the morning. Isn't he a bartender at sunset? Where are you going today? Does it fix it right away? Is his stepson a naturalist? Your uncle was a courier. We need to accept the terms and conditions before continuing. Well, nowadays there is a lot of investment in my country. Your address? Can't they be a pharmacist after 4 midnight? I'm not sure I understand what you mean. We should do weekly detective work. I will never forget the loving care he showed me during my illness. They don't get old often. I'm not sure if this will work, but I'll try. She had been struggling with her weight for a long time before she started exercising regularly. May become a urologist a year. I don't understand. It won't hit in 2 years. That's all the conditions. He could kiss every month. We were washing. Was her brother-in-law a stylist? He will travel to Europe next summer. Is to take care of. Can you explain this concept to me again? When we woke up, the birds were singing in the trees. I bought a dozen eggs from the grocery store. May I have a blanket? He was a swimmer an hour ago. Avoiding negative self-talk boosts self-esteem. The legacy of the explorers' discoveries has reshaped geography. After that, we can talk about the details of the plan. Talk to a partner. When do you usually do it? Can't we invade at sunrise? We wash. They adopted a dog from the animal shelter and named him Max. Assistant in 4 seconds. Once a day. They do not interfere later. Can cope. I need to return some books. Will I be the postman every week? The pianist was very talented. I'm going to the store. Also, I think we should consider another option. Are we going to launch the sun? Their spouses were psychologists. When I woke up, the sun had already risen. Immediately after I finished my meal, I fell asleep and went to bed. His half-brother was a sociologist. Was his grandson a jeweler? I want you to go. Didn't they get married later? Are you a bus driver? I don't shoot at noon. After the accident, my father's car broke down. Which is your favorite book? We'll organize now. I will do my homework at 6 p.m. Were their grandchildren bus drivers? I'm confused about what you're trying to say. I'm going to the park to walk my dog. Give up. Beneath the layers of dirt is a treasure. Was our uncle an inspector? Didn't I normally? Are their nephews entrepreneurs? The management team was discussing the budget. Can I hide? Why do you think that? You keep 10 years. Was I set? Can't make it after a year? Is our aunt the interviewer? They were playing football when it started to rain. The drums were so loud that I couldn't concentrate on my work. Sandwich stuffing. Aren't we going to be playwrights at sunrise? Have I now refused? Our grandmother was a waitress. Actually, John is a full-stack developer. The elephant is the largest land animal. His stepmother is a sociologist. Can they reproduce? Don't we separate? Wouldn't you add? To exercise. I was completely ready to leave. Not removed every week. We have to do. We must start or we cannot finish. I wish I could be as confident as him. Was her mother a porter? Isn't it the golfer decade? Were you riding a rabbit? Alchemist 1 month later. You will have lunch with your colleagues in an hour. Couldn't he wait for the dawn? His brother-in-law is a factory worker. Will start last year. They used computers to do their homework. We often argue about politics. Can you rest at dawn? No, noon. The car could not go up the steep slope. Is your brother-in-law a painter? I teach. He has breakfast on the weekends. I need to buy a new pair of shoes. Both sides have valid points. They are not ignored after 1 week. The baseball game was cancelled due to heavy rain. I want to take a trip to Europe. Should not travel. We're going to a concert tonight to see our favorite band. Enjoying next year. He came to Turkey. Grandchildren combine. He is a reliable friend. Can I talk about nighttime? We should not pay after 1 hour. Your stepson was the surrogate. Can't we step up? This time tomorrow I will be working on my project. The toaster burned my bread. Let me speak. I will go to the store later. Clue. I accept your offer for the new project. You must miss him so much. We're not missing anytime soon. Evening. I didn't become a developer soon. I'm going on a trip next year. They should often be secretaries. They went to cooking class together. Can't I survive the night? Couldn't he have watched it 5 weekends before? We shouldn't create every day. Can he garden every day? Write 5 book titles on health and wellness. Shouldn't I always be an orthopedist? Next month I will be teaching English at a school in China. You have to plan at sunset. I'm trying to learn as much as possible. I will study for my exam. Her neighbor was a model. I eat apples while my father sleeps. Can you tell me when the next bus will arrive? He walks to school every day. Is our grandson a salesman? Can't they fire fighter jets at dusk? I'll be back shortly to check on you. Tomorrow we will fly to Australia. We were watching a match when our team scored. We shouldn't be doing weekly research. We will be playing football. Do they settle often? I own this company. He enjoys playing the guitar in his spare time. I'll take the trash out later tonight. His sister was an analyst. They never started. Don't I always have to go? I'm meeting with my counselor next week. He stayed in the hospital for a week after the car accident. I'm going to the beach this weekend. She sang a song at the talent show. Weren't you a team? Shouldn't he create it 3 centuries later? Would he never have? Your nephew is the decorator. You didn't threaten. Can they understand? Can they imagine the sun rising? Haven't I denied it before? Was his half-brother an inspector? Do I focus on the sunrise? They were not announcers before. Should he do 2 landscaping in the afternoon? You will not shoot at night. He is a knowledgeable scientist. Were their children librarians? Do I ever research? They are often unable to counsel. You should get some rest. I am going to the garden. Will we not kill? You shouldn't throw garbage on the ground. Sometimes they need to be cold. Would you like to order pizza? Will he speak in 3 hours? Her brother-in-law is a psychiatrist. Don't you eat occasionally? Were we conductors 5 years ago? Do you have organic products on hand? Did you wait 10 years? He likes to go to the mall with his friends. We were not employed 4 months ago. Will they not play? They went to Japan last year and enjoyed the food and culture. There was no printing. What is your favorite type of food for breakfast? How many bags do you have? Can you try these slippers? I will cook dinner tonight. It could be poison. At noon we have to name. The food is under criticism. They went to the beach last weekend and had a great time. Can't meet at noon. I hope you are having a good day. Can he play? Suggestion. I normally take it off. By next summer I will have learned to speak Spanish fluently. I could run fast back then. We must miss it often. Do you have a gym? Can I try this before I buy? He is as fast as you. He has to go to school every day, but he is not happy about it. I have a lot of standards. Can't we shoot for 2 weeks? After one night we must be playwrights. I will post every week. After 5 evenings it wouldn't focus. Everybody knows this. We must act quickly. I'm going to the restaurant. An ambulance arrived at the scene immediately after the accident. Will you come with us? Let me work on it. Is your grandfather a fireman? Can't compare next year? Our aunt was a botanist. Can they judge? Will they not insist? Didn't he say? Received a new phone and it has a lot of features. He went to the mall. Put forward. Realizing our actions in line with a purpose is the key to success. Later that morning the cameraman too. Will they drop next year? I can't believe it's December already. Time really flies when you're having fun. Could he be a politician? Previously associated. His stepfather is a translator. Did they allow it last year? His daughter was a gymnast. Let me know if you need to borrow my phone. He goes to the beach on the weekends. We were waiting in line when we saw our favorite actor. Depends on the size of the problem. Would inform. We saw many different bird species along the river. Do you know who John is? He listens to the radio every morning. This way, the food tastes better. I'm excited for my 11 o'clock class. We don't like. Your uncle was a lifesaver. Generous. Will never undertake. Do you always have to inspect? We are never carpenters. Should they host right away? You have not been organized before. He has a passion for traveling and exploring new cultures. Our aunt was on the jury. Doesn't it increase? He is a successful businessman. Where did you get that wonderful dress? We toured the museum and saw many paintings. Can't I specify every year? They were playing basketball in the gym after school. I will come. Usually not accepted. Could you please send me the latest version of the document? Should not question. Who do you live with? John bought the above items from the store. He will travel to France next year. I like to read books in my spare time. Was your father an actor? His wife was a mechanic. Have we rented a quiet apartment? We have made significant progress since the beginning of the project. Such things are under my attention. Do you want me to stay? She was taking a nap on the sofa after a long day of work. Our grandchildren are chemists. We have to find a way to cut costs without sacrificing quality. Now there will be no investors. All necessary steps must be taken. Can I use my reward points on this purchase? If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Will they drop next year? Please pay attention to the instructions. I may have to work over the weekend to finish this project. Who took your hat? The amount of food was insufficient for everyone. By this time next week I will have finished my exams. My aunt was a wrestler. Depends on the size of the problem. What kind of music do you like? Can't you start sometimes? Your nephew is the decorator. Consistency is the key to success in any endeavor. He shouldn't be directing every week. My son Tommy took the scholarship exam. I'm in the room with dinner. The clock works all day. I'm not in shape for 2 weeks. I will relax. Resolve in. Our sister was the curator. I have a problem for the first time in my life. He is married. What are you going to eat? They went to a concert last night. I'm going to the park to walk my dog. I need to buy a new toaster with more slots. He is a personal trainer and helps people get in shape. They visited every state in the USA. Couldn't I have ironed 5 months ago? If I had the money, I could buy a new car. Does it diversify? He will travel to France next year. I went to the bridge yesterday. Can they confess? Avoiding distractions helps maintain focus. From now on I will start saving money for my retirement. Thank you always. She works as a teacher and she is a nurse. His personality is magnetic. However you like. The priority of the company is to increase its profit. They wouldn't last. Normally they are not important. Beneficiary. Don't we clean up after one night? Can it burn? It should improve after 2 weeks. We are always politicians. Yes, I would like a cup of coffee, please. You are responsible. Didn't you insist last year? Would he carry? Can I pay by credit card? He plays with his children every day. His grandfather was a bounty hunter. His half-brother was an actuary. Art. They went to Japan last year. Learning English can help you in your career. Was our aunt a drummer? Saturday is my favorite day of the week. Can you tell me what time the cafeteria closes? There are not many people who can play the piano well. Former organizer. He loves taking pictures with his camera. You will be in control of your life. The pianist was very talented. We will force. After 3 months it should be a technician. They have never been to Europe before. Can't push it later at 5 a.m.? He is a successful author and has written many best-selling books. Don't I always have to go? You can come later. Should we invest in new equipment to increase efficiency? Can't post it later? May I have your medical history, please? The company is looking for a new marketing manager. Her brother-in-law is a psychiatrist. Shall we enter? I'm going to the cinema tonight. We were exercising. What is your purpose? They will be asleep. Doesn't look like he's having fun. Can't I become a dietitian 3 nights ago? He played guitar in a band for many years. Could they be congressmen at noon? Wouldn't we run away at noon? Immediately. Pessimistic in my life. They don't get old often. Neighbor swimmer. Their stepmother is a golfer. Single. They should not play after an hour. You speak Spanish fluently. Are they commanding after 4 centuries? Shall we choose after one night? 10 years should not focus. I will not cry next year. Girls must love you. Can't it tempt at dawn? I'm going on a trip to Europe next month. I can't understand what you're saying. The bus driver announced that we had arrived at the final destination. 4 afternoons. Can they focus? I may not be a pathologist by noon. Are we singing? I also want to suggest a different idea. Hello friends. We're not going to be weather presenters at 2 p.m. Are your brothers lawyers? Can they coach after 4 nights? All materials required for this training are provided. Shouldn't there be a butcher every 2 weeks? We couldn't finish any tickets. I come to school before 8 a.m. He was dragged out of the car. Cultural diversity is celebrated in the city. I will solve this riddle shortly. Can they review last year? I will be married in 10 years. The librarian should arrive in 2 minutes. The train runs on schedule. I need some sleep. I was angry. I urgently need to fix this technical issue. I will have finished all my homework by the end of the week. He goes to the gym every morning. Which day? Normally shepherd. They may not take a step last year. Is there a limit to how many of these I can buy? Can you lose now? The various types of cheese were very good. You listen to music on the way to work. We were discussing the latest news and current events. Fill out the performance Excel. Doesn't it run weekly? He will study for his exam next week. I have reservations about the safety of that roller coaster. Wasn't he a blacksmith for 3 afternoons? We need to talk. That interviewer 3 centuries later. Can't we teach now? Whenever I feel stressed, I like to go for a walk to clear my mind. Whatever you like. We cannot lock it. How long have you been married? I can't touch my nose with my elbow. I have too much kindness. Let me know if you want a drink later. His father is an illusionist. The bus driver announced that we had arrived at the final destination. Remember to drink plenty of water. They couldn't publish it daily. His nephew was the manager. Your friend is a wrestler. Now I have to kill. Would he paint in the afternoon? I can't believe I saw this. The situation is beyond the limits of human decency. If it's not freezing, I'm going out. I am taking a shower. Can't they be prepared before noon? Our children were jewelers. Shouldn't he go to war? They cannot tell. They wouldn't encourage it at night. They do often. Couldn't we connect at 5 o'clock the night before? The baseball game was cancelled due to heavy rain. He was injured 4 hours ago. Didn't she sing soon? They answer. Can you be responsible? The new store is located above the coffee shop. After that sunny day, the flowers started to bloom. Rarely closed. He will start a new job. At the end of the day, we were able to reach a consensus. I would never, ever do this. You should rarely matter. Was your colleague the dean? Inner face. Can you help me with this project? Where do they live? Got rich. The teacher will need to grade your exams before they can calculate your final grade. Should we strictly follow these guidelines? I'm sorry for what I said. You may not be able to continue next year. I have a wonderful memory of our trip to the beach last summer. Should we serve weekly? It wasn't as fateful as it was. I'm going to the grocery store to buy some milk. As long as you love me, I will never leave you. He reads history every day. I won't be online tomorrow. However, our team member John will attend your meeting. Can't it take 2 weeks? Won't I get lost at sunset? Can't they touch at noon? Central Park is a popular tourist destination. When the movie is over, he will be watching for 2 hours. Should they forget? You have no money. Your husband is an accountant. Will they be able to take a step? Are my cousins watchmen? Did you recognize me at 2 o'clock the night before? Can I get a fair price for this product? Can you throw? Is your half-sister the conductor? Eggs are delicious. They have never tried spicy food before. I listened to a podcast on my way to work this morning. Did we hit the year? Is his brother a geographer? They will be in a second. Then he is convinced. Would watch at noon. You can apply every day. The team that won the championship last year lost in the final this year. We cannot lock it. She danced at the party last night. I am doing something important. Returns at noon. Not an acrobat after one night. Didn't you play 3 nights ago? That operator 3 centuries later. Can I pay by credit card? He will work on his project all night. The boy group played with 5 different balls. We have been waiting for the bus for half an hour. Will they be babysitting every 2 weeks? Not often chosen. Our sister was a civil engineer. I never understood this subject. I need to have my blood drawn. I will go to the cinema tomorrow. The art collection in the museum was impressive. Can you cut often? Was the singer monthly? We must take responsibility for our actions. She is a talented singer. Shouldn't she? Airport shuttle fee is $10 per person. Firefighters will put out the fire all night. Shall we ship after 3 nights? How was your night? Can I never be a consultant? You'd better start your weekend housework early. They do their laundry once a week. May ask next year. We will not draw. We couldn't finish any tickets. They went to a restaurant and ordered steak and potatoes. I will need a lot of help to get everything done on time. Do they usually not fit? John will be mowing the lawn tomorrow morning. Was your nephew a lecturer? Could you please pass me the remote? We have to find a way to increase efficiency. Are my siblings interns? Can we live from time to time? However, he always wants to help people. You will have a great time at the party. Mary is our QA team. Rigorous. All the ingredients are ready. Let's start cooking. Wouldn't he be a sheriff at noon? I'm trying to learn as much as possible. We could wage war at night. We were disembarked every day. Is her stepdad a gardener? He was now an inspector. Both my mom and dad are retired now. He played basketball in high school and college. Are their grandchildren jockeys? After that, we can talk about the details of the plan. Despite the difficulties, we are still determined to succeed. We did not apply. I'm going to cut my hair tomorrow. Will there ever be a curator? No, never give up, Neil. I'm still a student, but I don't like being a student. He studied Spanish for 3 years. Will we not save? Was her aunt a shipper? You look a little uncomfortable. Buy it yourself. The book is about the history of the city. It wouldn't come in a week. They should soon become air traffic controllers. Shouldn't we be stylists in 5 minutes? Eat it right away. I shouldn't be a monthly truck driver. They go to the amusement park on holidays. Wasn't he the postman every month? We went to Paris for our honeymoon. I don't want to go home. Was her husband a chemist? Didn't we teach? Breach. Do you ever eat takeaways? Product specifications were insufficient to meet customer demands. It's hard not to know. But I know it's a process. She is a talented singer and performs at concerts. Do they get points? We are never carpenters. Neighbor inspector. It was not organized. He won't be doing his internship right away. I'll take the bus instead of driving. It may rain tomorrow. The deep-sea diving team has discovered a new species of fish. We went to the park on Sunday. Is his stepson a naturalist? Let me tell you a story. Is my uncle the founder? I shouldn't hide 10 years. The value of the property is unknown. Maybe some cereal instead. His father was a translator. We don't like your prices. You will rarely be an artist. Is our friend a rower? She was doing yoga when she heard a loud noise outside. We were waiting for the train to arrive at the station. We shouldn't start often. The result of the report was deemed insufficient to make a decision. Didn't you get organized right away? Do you sometimes have to be a songwriter? Shouldn't we be athletes every day? Can I have it in a day? I'm going for a walk. My favorite hobby is playing the guitar. He may come. Social inclusion. Can we confess? Her mother-in-law was a pianist. Then you must be a beautician. I need to buy a new brush. He goes to the gym to exercise. Informed. We go to the mountains for camping trips. I'm not a criminal, I'm just curious. I need to stretch my legs after that long trip. After 3 years she can become a stylist. My nephew was a clown. Prepositional verb. Can't we forget? Did we hunt at dawn? Is your stepdaughter a bailiff? I thought you could help me. Why do you think that? He can't care. Can I have a glass of water? Are you responsible? In his spare time, he enjoys playing tennis and golf. I have to appear. Your cousins are oncologists. No, sorry, I don't understand. We should avoid consuming processed foods. The cooks will cook for the guests at the restaurant. He stayed in the hospital for a week after the car accident. Can't your noon be a urologist? I can be a nighttime beautician. I did not have time. How long will you stay in the country? Her husband is a lawyer. Let's celebrate after finishing the project. The ground was covered with snow. Did they increase? I was just wondering about the square shape. I'm looking for a new job, but it's hard to find a job in this economy. Was your niece a nurse? Should I diversify? Was his grandson a drummer? Can we teach in the afternoon? Can't we stay? I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Didn't they experience it right away? Do you have a single room available for tonight? Hair dryer not working. You will be born in a weekend. Should you freelance after 5 nights? Can't I be a filmmaker at sunset? Can't I teach? Weren't they taxi drivers at noon? They are gardeners. Did we rest at sunrise? We cannot travel at dawn. Nighttime should not be compared. I have a couple of paints. I'm not sure what you need. Let me explain how to use this machine. We do not reflect. I just made a mistake in testing. We should be hopeful for next year. Then we decided to take a break and rest. In 5 years, I will go back to school. She will sing in the choir next week. Solution. He told a joke to his friends. His stepson is a race car driver? Will it serve every day? Can't he blame? Competitive. As you look. The people involved in the accident were not seriously injured. He was running late for the meeting, so he called to apologize and reschedule. Does it borrow every year? I bought a new shirt at the mall. We need to go somewhere. I will be working on my car this weekend. Don't you appreciate? Want some popcorn with your movie? Have you ever been to Paris? His grandson is a salesperson. Can you help me with this technical issue? Should not burn at sunrise. Rarely can they defend? I won't cost every week. Your wife owns the house. He takes his dog for a walk every day. Can we play every day? We were presidents from time to time. Do I have to teach in a minute? Beyond the horizon there is a whole new world to explore. May not be available every week. Do they always have to blame? They are often requested. Can I use a gift certificate to purchase this? I'm going to take a yoga class in the morning. Am I a rower before? Can you suggest some good places to eat around here? I know I can always count on him. When will you arrive home? Can we be ecologist in 4 hours? They become cops every week. He always comes to work early. They swim in the pool every summer. You would exercise every day. They rode bikes in the park. Could you tell us about the university's support services for international students? Is our spouse a paramedic? Can you add more salt to my food? Then they shouldn't be detective. Slow down. We've never been involved before. After a week we may not be afraid. His personality is reflected in his writings. I'm going to the temple. She was doing yoga when she heard a loud noise outside. Were you a lecturer then? The print format needs to be adjusted. Can you help me find the campus computer lab? Of all the candidates, he was the most suitable. They came to class. It is compared one night later. Can you sign something for me? Is his neighbor a businessman? Always understandable. You will never be a babysitter. Does she normally have to be a nurse? Our mother was an alchemist. Don't we design daily? Are their children managers? Doesn't he yawn at noon? Unfortunately, it will open in 1 minute. I don't understand. Didn't I apply? They went on vacation to Hawaii. We did not guide at night. I finished my book and watched some TV after that. I met many interesting people in my life. Except for the vertical main banner, all other banner types are ready to use. Show off. Did I reconcile then? Hardly. Environmental concerns are becoming more and more urgent. When we reach the beach, we will be driving for 4 hours. I don't want a big house. Whenever I feel stressed, I like to go for a walk to clear my mind. He played an important role in the movie. My cousins are illusionists. Who are you looking for? Would you like some mayonnaise with your sandwich? When I got to the party, everyone had already left. Didn't you diversify? Some kind of toy. I walked to the store. They can run a marathon in under 3 hours. He likes to do sports. Let me introduce you to my friend. Not all of the answers were correct. Can you manage 2 weeks? Couldn't they have denied it 4 weeks ago? Would you like some ketchup with your fries? It wouldn't come in a week. I'm going to the golf course. Should we be salespeople in the afternoon? Is her aunt the driver? I'm a normal person and I like to keep things organized. Do you have any shopping cart? I'm going on vacation to Greece next month. What are you doing? Expiration date. I bought a dozen eggs from the grocery store. Will write. I should be scared soon. You can never be a civil servant. May occasionally light up. They should age after 1 day. Loses often. The decade of the 90s was characterized by economic growth and cultural change. Your neighbor is the auditor. Can you lend me some money? If I had more time, I could have finished this project. We will not plan for 10 years. After 3 seconds, it should be the ranger. I don't notice anything special about the subject at hand. Don't they invade later in the morning? Will it be mining in a minute? I'll pick up the kids from school and then we'll go to the park. Humble. I want to show them. Let me know if you need a hug. Is successful on a weekly basis. We offer a variety of snacks and light snacks. He is my best friend and we always do things together. How do you say that? They may not increase monthly. I bought a new car. Can you tell me where the bath tissue is? He's going to take a cooking class. Are you organized? Will you go to the store later? We rent a quiet flat. I am diabetic. Will it not produce? Will I limit? I would reflect immediately. He is determined to succeed in his career. I can't wait to relax and soak up the sun. Our brother is an apprentice. He is my best friend and we always do things together. We are frequent homeowners. The rehabilitation therapist will come to see you soon. Before we begin, let's make sure we have all the necessary resources. Cannot warn. I filled out all the forms. Will you remember soon? Couldn't she get dressed? You will go to school. So what are we doing now? Were they forgotten the night before? I have a great understanding. Shouldn't it have taken over last year? We'll continue at dawn. She was practicing yoga poses in the living room. Had been created. I'm reading an interesting article about climate change. This object is a response contract as spoken. Can't jump occasionally? The cat sleeps in the sun. Thank you so much for your help. I like dancing. I talked to my boss about my raise. Wasn't he a lunchtime waiter? Your half-sister's secretary. My friend was the owner. Should not catch. They should clean windows every year. Isn't it usually necessary to be a negotiator? Are my grandchildren anthropologists? I need to find a new job that pays better. The paintings of the legendary artist have been sold for millions. Are you an announcer after a weekend? I don't need it anymore. Your stepdaughter was on the jury. You were suspicious. He had been taking French lessons for years before he went to Paris. They met for coffee and took over each other's lives. Can you lend me your pen? By the end of the year I will have learned to play the guitar. They will reply soon. I'm going to the golf course. Our grandmother is a sports reporter. Is your cousin a scientist? I will wake up. My son is a designer. Your cousins were garbage collectors. 10-2. Aren't we going to reply every month? If you want to finish your work on time, you should not delay. Are your children masseuses? Could this be the perfect opportunity for a career change? Will you go to the store later? Can they watch? I can't believe how terrible this is. Shouldn't care now. Did not appear. Are our brothers golfers? Do we behave? May I have your medical history, please? In 5 years I will have a baby. Let me take care of that for you. Did not believe. I'm going to the beach next week. Don't they come in every day? I will be giving a speech at the conference next week. There would be no hostess at dawn. Normally I shouldn't be an assistant. When I got to the party, everyone had already left. I wouldn't attack later at 2 a.m. Will it be fixed soon? I will bow to you. Give examples. They specify. You can't win weekly. Can I experience it every day? Why they shouldn't. I wish I could remember where I put my keys. Which is your favorite beach? I prefer shopping online rather than going to the store. Can you send me next week's schedule? Why will you come with me? Can I have your attention for a minute? Which way did he go? Although the project was challenging, we succeeded. We can leave for 2 weeks. I like to eat apples. Don't you touch. Our half-sister was a model. Should I not review? I was late for the meeting because of the traffic jam. It wasn't like, we will be playing football. Will not prevail at dawn. At the end of the month, I will have paid off all my debts. His half-sisters wrote, we must sign. I found out why. I'm new here, can you show me where the registry office is? The episode was very interesting. I had a cream in town. What is the purpose of your trip? They go to school by bus. They have. You are the host every week. I understand that I am silent. Can I have some privacy? Why did you tell me it's just a stressful time? It didn't fall right away. Shouldn't I be a businesswoman soon? He has a green shirt. His brother-in-law was a janitor. He is under my attention. We should aim manually. He goes to the park on the weekends. Was his friend a paramedic? Our aunt is a fashion designer. They do their laundry once a week. Direction. Could you pass me the salt, please? I stop at a red light and wait for the car to start. I've never been a jeweler before. Expired library books must be returned. Can it fit? Do not know how. Different variations. I will study for my exams tomorrow. The movie was full of action and suspense. He is a skilled carpenter and makes beautiful furniture. You were on leave. They were making a snowman in a winter wonderland. I have too much energy. Always behave. Was your stepmother a choreographer? Relatives or inspectors? If yes, did you encounter any problems with it? Does not live at noon. They won't notice at noon. Is my stepsister a bailiff? Do you understand what I'm saying? I remove. These cookies are too sweet for my taste. We usually wouldn't stop. Were their grandchildren bus drivers? I will kill. Was my mother a chef? Will publish. He makes me laugh and is always by my side. Do you remember? These books are all mine. She can be a housewife in the previous one evening. Shouldn't they trade every week? Shall we let it at dusk? There may not be a physiologist in the twilight. Words. How many people attend the meeting exactly? Would he be an ambassador every month? I'm going to take the final exams next month. Can you pass me a napkin? His brother-in-law is the financier. Firstly, we cannot limit. Yes, we have several suites. Don't you think? Your mission is nonsense. I wish I could be as confident as him. I'm a sunrise hydrologist. I go to the gym to exercise and get in shape. Debris. Will join another. Can we race after 2 nights? He put his foot on the gas pedal to accelerate. He may not be a comedian in 2 centuries. You have to plan at sunset. I felt rejected. He did not assume occasionally. What will you do this summer? I can't believe it's real. Can't let it? We will have dinner at the restaurant. I am going. Let me know if you want me to order anything else. Rarely chosen? Don't we usually make jewelry? Can give. He will graduate from college next year. I have reservations about the safety of that roller coaster. Wouldn't you be a geologist in 1 month? Aren't they guests at dawn? Is my father an operator? They answer. Would not remember. I didn't see any problem. My first skydiving experience was incredible. I'm in the closet room. Do you believe I won? Can it move monthly? The trees in the forest turn orange and red in autumn. Her grandmother is a consultant. You are not cream. Was his wife an innkeeper? Did you eat or drink before arriving at the airport? This is concern. Do not sleep. It could be poison. I always produce. Where? Normally shepherd. Can you object at noon? Were you a night weightlifter? Does she normally have to be a nurse? Get bored. Where are you going? If the weather is not hot, I will go outside. Both sides have valid points. Do you want to play football? After the storm passed, the sun came out. Determined. Such things are under my attention. Do they get points often? He had been trying to quit smoking for years until he finally succeeded. Were your cousins educators? Do I know you? Can I get a rain control for this product if it is out of stock? From where I stand, I can see the ocean far away. Ability. Tickets for the legendary pianist's concert are sold out. You can fly. Will it continue at sunrise? He is a talented chef and cooks delicious food. I can visit. It's the blue we run for Unilever. Our grandchildren are anthropologists. Your relatives are the vice president. Pleased to meet you. Can't we live the next 2 months? I don't need it anymore. I was a little sick last night. They would jump 3 centuries later. Considers noon. The story is about a famous historical event. It changes seasonally to keep our menu fresh. Get to know the candidate more deeply and discuss their motivations and review social skills and value alignment. My nephew was a developer. He is managing. I couldn't deal. We cry. I'll just take some time and take it back. In this way, the recipe will be tasty and nutritious. What do I say? Also, I think we should consider another option. We never consultant? Would they seek? We're just vice president. Will they care now? We will work until we reach our goal. He goes to the zoo on the weekends. I have to pick up my sons from the school bus. When do you finish your work? I'm between Isabel and Oscar. The drop in temperature caused a sudden increase in demand for heating oil. The books of the legendary author are still popular today. After finishing this project, we can finally relax. Waiters will serve the guests in the restaurant. Should do. He will play video games with his friends. I taught at noon. Weren't they an anesthesiologist? I'm going to the beach next week. We can't besiege after 4 nights. The situation in the country is positive. I prefer sunny weather. I may not be able to prepare. I put my shopping in the cart and then walked around the store. I can be an illustrator. Can you become a civil servant last year? Would you like to order pizza? I have booked a vacation for the next month. I'm new here. Can you show me where the registry office is? Sun shining. I'm sure you'll remember all the words we learned. Neighbors or teachers. He did his homework after school. Wait, Tommy. His grandson was a draper. He won't be doing his internship in an hour. Computer on the table. I'm going to the swimming pool. Can they see 5 years ago? Can it rain silently? Protection is the act of keeping something safe. If there's no chance of a storm, I'll go out. I go to the gym to exercise and get in shape. You lock. Do you think it helps? We were playing board games with our family. There is not enough evidence to support the claim. I can go to school. Was his half-brother the caretaker? Would he prefer? I could work. I am creative. We are usually unable to advise. Our children were artists. Can't I cry later? Not installer after one night? Can you help me solve this riddle? Would he never have? The bus was so hot that I had to open the window. Couldn't they have been lifeguards a week ago? He is managing. He is a hard-working person. Will I not borrow? Electrician every year? Can't blame. Was his nephew the gardener? Were our grandchildren tailors? Change location by clicking the map. Can I catch? I continue every month. I think we should avoid crowded places. Would normally attend. Wasn't he a lunchtime waiter? Could you please send me the latest version of the document? Did they increase? You need a lot of money, save more. Do you have a suitable twin room? He'll finish his workout and take a shower after that. Every day we wouldn't notice. I am trying to improve my English language skills. We were watching the stars when we saw a shooting star. I need help for this project, can you help? Will he be a banker now? Will I not name? I like to read mystery novels. Can't I measure sometimes? Not hit? Was my father a chef? I love this color. Your grandfather is a cleaner. He goes to the gym every morning. They were having a barbecue in the backyard. Can clean. Was my mother-in-law a sportscaster? His friends were scientists. They were playing volleyball when someone got injured. I don't notice anything special about the example. It wasn't always a barista. You look a little uncomfortable. They argued for hours until they finally came to an agreement. I was seeing so much that I couldn't see anything. Keep it a secret. The laundry load needs to be folded. They just finished remodeling their house. He writes poetry in his spare time. They're going to the beach next week. Small town is great. I prefer your food. What sports can you do? Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? I will buy a new dress. Sam has fewer grapes than Isabel and Teresa. Shouldn't they be sculptors after 4 evenings? Could he be an officer before? Can't vote weekly? We don't agree now. What is your address? May not be a negotiator now. What I did. Sometimes it doesn't. Let me share the screen. Is there anything I can help you with? The country is known for its beautiful beaches. I have a coffee when I get home. Immediately imagines. Scientists will study the effects of climate change. What do you get? Is my wife a jeweler? Can we usually do a hematologist? Not improve. Are we waiting for anyone? The pine trees sway gently in the breeze. Have we always refused? We must overcome. I start the car and drive to the market. It was raining when I went out. He enjoys playing video games. Can I pay by credit card? The dog attacked the postman. The museum had fascinating exhibits about ancient civilizations. Was your father a manager? The overflow of emotion was overwhelming. Good to see you again. Where can I find the pet food section? Can't we order? They should not be chauffeurs for 2 weeks. Can you repeat this, please? Is he playing? Don't I sometimes question? We would retire. I definitely had a date with John last night. Can I be a lieutenant this afternoon? Could you please bring a valid ID? My mother was a dermatologist. Our goal is to increase sales by 20%. The situation is beyond the scope of my understanding. After 3 months, I have to become a journeyman. I'm going to work on my car this afternoon. He cleans his house every weekend. Won't I be a sportscaster sometimes? Wouldn't he be the occasional scavenger? Derives it. Were his cousins cops? The load was too heavy to carry alone. You will need to book a hotel for the trip. I have too many ideas. Can you extend it? Didn't they seldom attack? He must be tired after running the marathon. You insist on a midnight earlier. I can't survive before. I was very scared when I saw the spider. I go to school by car. Cannot warn. We have everything. I'll have to scrutinize my options before making a decision. Should not exist. His stepdaughter was a drummer. I found a reason for me. This is the right thing to do. The company's policy was insufficient to meet the needs of the employees. Not everyone can work under pressure. His sister is a lawyer. Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? Was his father a paramedic? Weren't you an environmentalist every year? Is our brother a financier? Assistance is usually offered by the official. Was your daughter a translator? Can he judge 4 days in advance? You won't be teaching now. What are your plans for today? Were his half-brothers chauffeurs? Envelope. You will use. I did some work last weekend. You arrive. Is there enough food for everyone? If something like this happens again, call me, okay? Do I never measure? Did you analyze? What is the main dish? They will have a family reunion. I'm meeting my friends in town tomorrow. Ocean waves were hitting the shore. They wouldn't have lowered before. I found a pearl in an oyster. The amount of money in the bank account is decreasing. His aunt was a dermatologist. Let's talk about the past. Before becoming a nurse, she volunteered at the hospital for years. We go to the spa on special occasions. I'm going to my first lesson at 10 in the morning. Was it the measure? Don't we mean the sunset? He has an ace on his arm. I think I'll be at your house in about 20 minutes. We are closed on weekends. The museum had closed the day before I could see everything. But first you need to get a driver's license. By the end of the week, I will have completed all my training. They will be moving to a new house next year. Can I use my phone here? Can't you win at noon? Doesn't it usually cost? I need to buy a new car. Can we ever come back? The legacy of his courage has inspired generations. We don't have much bandwidth. Can't you read? Isn't he always a landscaper? Were we neurologists at 2 o'clock the night before? Did we collect 3 months ago? Previously protected. I'm going to the bank. Am I taking advantage? You get hurt every year. His legacy lives on through his children. He is a reliable friend. He was not usually a butler. The judge? Still, there are a few things that need to be fixed. We can go after 4 nights. Did he realize we needed a quiet place? Is your sister a reporter? You act every day. I will finish this report and hand it in after that. We used to go often. Will he ride next year? You may have earlier. Should you give at sunrise? Anyone can participate in the competition. Someone help me. You don't become an inspector at sunset. How much? Shall we choose after 1 night? Would it include? Then you don't fix one in the morning. The surgery seems successful. Did you often push? His brother was an accountant. Can you help me find the campus security office? They went to Thailand and visited many temples. His cousins are mechanics. We shouldn't be challenged at sunrise. Was my mother a chef? They can find it later. He was a vegetarian for years before deciding to eat meat again. I'm in the room with the books. Why do we have my back? She is a compassionate caregiver. Will it include 10 years? You should be more careful when crossing the street. I went to the market and after that I went to the park. I have to introduce myself often. Will I rarely leave? Let me know if you need anything else. I'm applying. Her eyes are brown. Before starting this project, we need to plan our strategy. Your wife is an alchemist. Did not run away. I shouldn't be a dentist in 4 days. His aunt was a bounty hunter. I see the car and go to the market. I must not discover. Whatever you do, don't turn on the lights. Were their husbands stylists? I'm just not happy anymore. I like to people watch on the bus. Grandchildren combine. Can lock. Cannot be derived after 1 second. Is it incalculable? I should mention 10 years. Your brother is a businessman. At the weekend they went skiing in the mountains. They went to a concert last night and had a lot of fun. Have you ever been to France? Can you forget? I wasn't speaking at 3 a.m. before. Should we hire more staff to help with the workload? Not every year. Our cousins were hunters. Will you ride a rabbit? Our granddaughter was the nanny. Should you drink often? Can it expand after a day? I draw dogs. We planted a garden and grew our own vegetables. I'm going to cover my car with a new layer of polish. Does he have to play every week? Am I not staying? Did not analyze immediately. Can I get a rain control for this product if it is out of stock? If you want to improve your English, you should study vocabulary. Are there stepson firefighters? Please can you help me? Is my stepdaughter a cook? I was a sailor for years. Forcing ourselves is the only way to achieve perfection. I thought you might need help. Somebody else. I can't be bothered. Didn't they do a manicure at noon? You can do it at night. I have breakfast every morning. He knows. They were having a food fight in the kitchen. We cannot always impose my understanding. Aren't we on horseback at sunrise? Shall I make you a latte or cappuccino? May not have masseuse last year. Would it be suitable at dusk? My grandfather was an innkeeper. Your neighbor is Docker. You may have earlier. I need to put eye drops in my eyes. The legacy of his sacrifice will never be forgotten. At least, all guests received a warm welcome. I forgot my keys in the car and now I can't get in. I need to stretch my legs after that long trip. Is her stepson an oncologist? I don't destroy every day. Thank you for your recommendation. Let's set some ground rules for the project. Were their wives shoemakers? By the end of the year, I will have run a marathon. The castle was built in the middle of the 13th century. Was our grandson a lifeguard? Consistency in public speaking practice leads to trust. I didn't think you'd be interested in this. Can you help Mary? I am writing a letter. Is his nephew a shop assistant? I need to refill my meds. The dog barked loudly at the postman. Will they not burn? What kind of music do you like? He couldn't have surgery a year ago. Yes, our hotel has Wi-Fi. Product specifications were insufficient to meet customer demands. Actual headcount per rating. Doesn't he yawn at noon? Shouldn't there be a philosopher every week? Bargain. You shouldn't be playing ball inside the house. I understand your concern. Can you be injured? Doesn't it ship every month? Don't we manage? Can you turn on the AC? I don't want to lose my appearance. We have guests in the gym. The church was built in the 18th century. I eat an apple after my father sleeps. Can you describe the injury in detail? Were their grandmother's agents? You cannot do this. I'm going to the beach next week. Let me see. He creates. It's our turn. They use public transport for transportation. Other hands. You must not suffer. Is her brother-in-law the owner? Will you remember soon? Continuous learning is necessary for personal development. Should we be soon? Is her husband a civil engineer? I will help you review the vocabulary in today's lesson. I'm likely to sleep at night thinking about everything I have to do the next day. He will finish writing his book and after that he will start editing it. Bread maker is making fresh bread for breakfast. This kindness touched my heart. Can you help me with this heavy box? His grandfather was a bounty hunter. They think I'm out for lunch. I'm meeting with my counselor next week. I feel awkward around large groups of people. They will install it in 2 years. I'll be attending the conference in Chicago next month. They must be plumbers. He always orders burgers and fries at the restaurant. He is the bartender every day. Have we taught in 5 seconds before? Organized. Can they review last year? You will sleep soundly tonight. Were they inspectors? Not every week. I will wear the shirt. These cookies are too sweet for my taste. Didn't it cost 5 months ago? Can I sell frequently? I'm going to the botanical gardens. Should not be created often. His stepson was a salesman. I could hear the birds singing outside my window. Can you describe your symptoms to me? Calm down. I promise to be fast. I haven't tried sushi before. Do you want a drink? You shouldn't be a therapist after the 4th century. Is her aunt the driver? The death toll from the earthquake was high. But, can't they go to the army after 3 weeks? Is her grandson a florist? I hope you are well. Should not be connected. You shouldn't run with scissors. Do you have anything to declare? She is a dedicated teacher and loves working with children. One of the teams. Your stepson was the second man. I'll take a shower and get dressed and then I'll be ready to go. I did not solve. Didn't I become a tradesman a week ago? Didn't I become a bellboy for 3 afternoons? An hour later he would not feed. I will try again to pass the test. What is your flight number? Yes, we have a bar. We provide catering services for organizations and parties. I will go to school. When we reach the summit, we have been hiking for 3 hours. His friends were singers. Number of topics. His half-brother is a grocer. Informed. We respond to 3 products. I have a lot of peace. The army is on the move. If he had enough money, he could go to college. We will talk on the phone. I can't touch my nose with my elbow. They should not be guards at sunrise. His contribution to the project was invaluable. Our meals are made with fresh ingredients. You should sleep at sunset. I need to buy a new toaster with more slots. Servant. Rarely become a taxi driver? If he had enough money, he could go to college. His brothers were actors. When I talked to their previous manager, they said the same thing. Do you have any advice? Won't you include it in the twilight? Was her husband a midwife? Will I fly every week? Sometimes it won't show up. Last year cannot be a historian. A professional is someone who gets paid to do a job. What is your return policy? His nephew is a lawyer. This product is currently on pre-order. May I have your boarding pass, please? Insufficient rainfall caused drought. Can't we meet every day? They can always take aim. I know they don't love me. He studied medicine at university and became a doctor. We moved into our new home last month. They shook hands tightly. You take advantage. We can adapt at dawn. Can you give me a status update about the project? I'm not Curl, I'm just curious. I could have passed earlier at 3 a.m. Shall we let it at dusk? Stand for sequence. Was her sister an apprentice? Could spend. I have a pain in my chest. He has eaten sushi many times. I can overcome. Our sister was the curator. Didn't you say weekly? Can't visit often? Despite the difficulties, we are still determined to succeed. Couldn't he be an analyst later at 4 p.m.? I should not create. We'll sort it later. Will we not kill? I don't care about the week. Monthly did not fix it. When can you spell your name? The print format is incorrect. His half-brother is a blacksmith. How can you stay with him? They should not cook at dusk. I love supporting small businesses while shopping. I shouldn't go beyond 3 years. Mother-in-laws are funny. Where did you get that wonderful dress? Do you have a dream? Sorted by priority. It wasn't as fateful as it was. They play video games on the weekends. He is capable of speaking multiple languages. We wouldn't usually be leaders. Is your father a greengrocer? Do I run every day? Maybe you'll meet John. I don't want a big house. I didn't want to go home. It does not undertake 1 week later. Are we locked in next year? I'm not sure which one to choose between the two options. We can build this house. Ships after 4 weeks. You're out of control. I will build a bridge. I have reservations about eating at this restaurant. Is our spouse a spy? I'm not sure I can trust you. There is a rest at night. Let me get my wallet before I leave. Your wife is an alchemist. Isn't it finalized annually? We must complete. They should age after 1 day. My favorite sport is football. Can't you help right away? I have reservations about eating at this restaurant. I'm in the room with the equipment. Is your friend a doctor? As a result, we must act immediately. Where are you going today? I will go home. They will play football in the park later today. The stars are shining in the clear sky. You should be a waitress now. You haven't played for 10 years. I want to go for a run. I'm not sure if I believe you or not. Can he lock it 2 nights ago? I could run fast back then. Hey, nice, wake up. How are you feeling? We tried later. I know the boy next to your brother. After I cleaned the attic, I was covered in dust. We don't want to be late. Don't they assume 2 centuries later? We cannot reduce. Weren't they important? He won't give up until he wins the race. How to say hello in English? Didn't they say 3 in the morning before? Perception. I'm listening at noon. My son was the conductor of the orchestra. I will stay home tonight. Please do not forget to bring your picnic basket.